A slush fund, a reserve of money used for illicit purpose, especially political bribery. A slush fund is a fund or an account used for miscellaneous income and expenses, particularly when these are corrupt or illegal, such as funds that may be kept hidden and maintained separately, of course, from other funds or other business, it sounds like. So a slush fund by definition is hidden from at least some of the people who have a right to know about it. The line gets crossed when management moves money into an account, and it goes on and on and on. So it basically talks about what a slush fund is. And you may ask, why am I talking about this? Because Trump's slush fund shows off this administration's shameless impunity. So the committee or re-elect the president, chaired by the administration fathomlessly corrupt Attorney General John Mitchell, was the chief Lewisgate. Okay, so I guess the DOJ is also announcing nearly $1.8 billion fund to compensate Trump's allies. So the Trump administration has announced the creation of nearly $1.8 billion fund to compensate allies of the Republican president who believe that they have been unjustly investigated. So it's in the New York Times, it's in the AP or Associated Press News, it's in The Guardian, and more. And so you might even have seen on social media where they have also coined it as reparations for white people who have done wrong at the Capitol on January 6th. So it's sort of like having reparations to white people. And so they just call it what they see it as. So DOJ sets up the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund for Trump after Trump drops blah blah blah. That's an NBC News. Critics are raged at Trump's bills. He's building the it goes on and on and on. So there's a lot of outrage behind this. So there's many articles talking about it. So who's going to say the quiet part out loud? I guess I will. So that ballroom that he's building, I'm just going to be honest, I believe it is a bomb shelter because they know something is coming, and they know that this quote-unquote ceasefire, which never really was a ceasefire, this thing that he's going to do with Iran to make a deal, which they're not going to make no deal with him, which I really don't see why they should after he's been blowing up all of their place of origin, wherever they're living. He's been blowing up and killing people over there. He started this war that didn't have to be started. He's making or creating what is quote unquote a ballroom, but really it's really a shelter for them to hide if there's a fallout, or like a nuclear fallout, or bombs that are sent over here and they want to retaliate. And so they kind of said it, but people weren't really paying attention, I don't believe. They said it was a military shield place where the military would go if they needed to have some place of shelter, but really I believe it's not just the military. It's more for Trump and his cronies so that they can go and hide. They probably got somewhere in there where they have rooms where they can stay for several months. They have food, and it's like a bunker for the GOP people so their families can be safe if they just blow up everything. And so I don't think people are paying attention. And he said nothing about what happened to the families in Mississippi that had their homes destroyed in the tornadoes. He's not sent a team over there to help those people. He said nothing about the Ebola outbreak, the hantavirus outbreak. He's not said anything about that to try to see if maybe that they can try to make sure that people are safe. There's containment of that. He doesn't even pay any attention to any of those issues, because they're saying that it started off that it was 88 people that had succumbed to the Ebola. Mind you, this Ebola is a different strain than the first Ebola that came out. So this strain is a little more of a concern. And I've heard a doctor say that this strain is a lot different. They don't have a treatment for it. So even people who have tried to contain people who have come down with it, they themselves have contracted or show symptoms of it. It's a doctor that has shown symptoms of it. So it can very well get out into the population, but you don't see Trump saying anything about it. And so that should be of a lot of people's concern. And this right here, this Trump administration, they're 1.8, some say 10, some say it could be a lot more than that. So there's speculation it could be a lot more than that. So Stephen Colbert predicts exactly how Trump will steal the entire slush. So there's a lot of people weighing in on the issue. And mind you, this right here does not get any better. And then he even goes so far as wants to sue the IRS for tax returns and all of this, because, notice with all this going on, they still haven't come out with the Epstein files, all of the files. They've been hiding all of that. And so some things have come out, but not everything. And so he keeps dancing around these issues, but they're building like no tomorrow. The sun up and sundown, you see those guys in the background, they were on the news, they were working hard trying to build that ballroom. That ballroom is not just for dancing, it's for shelter for the GOP, so they can hide. And it's going to go deep down in below, where they can stay there for probably months, maybe up to a year or more. And I believe that's what they're doing. They're not telling everybody what it's really its true intentions is they know something is coming, and it's going to be really bad if Iran decides to retaliate. And so that's what I believe it is. And he's stripped all of the rights. He's stripped voting rights for black people in the South. They're pulling all of the representatives, people who are black people who are in political seats, they're removing them. They're removing a lot of the funds from different organizations and institutions that help people of color. They are the reason why that LGBTQ parade that was supposed to happen at the last minute, they claimed that, they didn't have all their permits. They made sure that thing came to a close. They have all to do with all of this. And so for people who are sitting around thinking that this is a joke, it isn't a joke. Oh, mind you, all these people recently that went to Houston for spring break that contracted this HIV, guess what? Well, there's no more research for it. So they were coming close to a cure for that. And there was no more. There's probably already a cure, but they're not going to release it for you. They want you, it's sick care. They want you to stay on meds. Now he's cut, this administration has single-handedly cut all, constantly slashing funds for the medication for the HIV and for anything that could turn into AIDS. So I predict that what's going to end up happening, which is unfortunate, is that you're going to have a lot of diseases that are going to come out that are going to hit people. This Ebola, like they said, that the symptoms of that is just like a flu. So anybody could have that in the population, and some people could just all of a sudden fall ill, and you have a lot of death. The mortality rate is real. People of death with the Ebola is very high, and by them cutting back to the HIV situation, they cut a lot of funds for those programs. They keep cutting and cutting the funds for those programs. Like every time they turn around, every year, they keep cutting and cutting and cutting till eventually you can't afford the medicines. They got medicines to keep you living, but only the people that can afford it or have enough insurance that'll cover it will be able to have access to it. And that's probably the wealthy. And so this is not only, I heard another young lady, she was on TikTok talking about this ain't a race. Yes, it is a race. It's both a race war and a class war. She said, oh, it's a class war. No, it's not just a class war, honey. It is both a race and class. So get that out of your head, that race is not involved, because if race wasn't involved, then they'd be including you in that bomb shelter, and they ain't got no black people they gonna hide down in there. Not even Clarence Thomas with his crazy ass. So I'm just telling you like it is. He ain't gonna be included in it either. He did everything in between. He benefited from affirmative action. He benefited from those programs. And now he's the reason why he helped to close it. And so I don't know what happened to him in his life, but he's hateful to his own people. And he's of Haitian origin. So I'm just telling you like it is. I'm saying the quiet part out loud. That ballroom ain't just no ballroom. It is a bomb shelter for the GOP. So all of you people sitting up there thinking that this was a joke, voting for this man, now you see the real stuff is coming out. That 250 day we're dedicating America to God ain't nothing but a bunch of mess. That is dedicating America to white supremacy. That's what it is. So for those of you that don't know no better, get it out of your head. He is not for you. And he's threatening Cuba. They don't have no lights in Cuba. They don't have no gas in Cuba. He knows what he's doing, and he knows something is coming. Just like when COVID, he knew it was coming, and he didn't release that information. And it's the same thing with all of this. He knows a war, nuclear war could come. He would know it, and he wouldn't alert the American people. He was never for the American people. He's only for himself and the people that are allies of him, people that he, like the January 6 people, it is like reparations for them. They never gave black people reparations. That's why this country was built on lies, white supremacy, and hatred. And those people going around talking about the Christianity, it isn't, it's for everybody. It's not just a white man's religion. Yes, it is, because they gave it to us. They gave it to black people. It was not originally our religion. So stop telling black folks that. You adopted that religion from them. That's why they can turn around and twist it. Now they got this 250 day we're going across tour and going to schools and incorporating the Republicans in the schools and the GOP and Hegseth and all of them, and Linda McMahon. She's the Department of Education, but she used to be head of WWE. She's part of that. She knows nothing about education. So I'm saying the quiet part out loud, that you guys all are being duped. They are lying to you. They're using that money to protect themselves. They don't care about these people out here. And so if you drop dead tomorrow, they're not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. So stop believing that this administration is for you when it's totally against you. They're using us as a shield, and I would bet that some of that money, he claims that money is his money building the ballroom. Where are you getting all this money from? That you got that much money you can build a ballroom. And another thing, because he heard that the White House was built by slaves, that's why he wanted to demolish part of it and change it so he could say he built something on it. And that's why they've been doing and working so hard to erase the history. You can't erase evil. You did this evil, you created this evil, and it's going to stay here because you've never made good on what you've done wrong. You've never atoned, you never repented for the sins of this country. So that's the reason why things continue to go downhill, and they're going to go down in flames, because you're not telling the truth. All of those people that you see on the news, they're nothing but liars. They sit up there and they lie. Every time you get on and turn the TV on, you see a bunch of criminals and liars in suits. That's what you're seeing. I'm saying the quiet part out loud. Nobody wants to say it because they're afraid to say the truth. But this man is a criminal. He's doing everything that his criminal mind supposed to do, because he knows nothing to do honest. So he is not for people, because if he was, he would have said something about the people in Mississippi. He would have sent a team down there to help them. He even helped those girls that died in that flood out there, when they had that flood in that state. People that look like him, they could be poor, he don't care about them neither. So you white people that have voted for him and you ain't got two nickels to rub together, you're in a delusion. He doesn't care about you. You don't have no money. The only thing you got is some skin color, and that ain't gonna get you too far if you can't afford to go live anywhere. I see it's a lot of white people living in cars and vans. They're homeless too. Some of you voted for him, but you ain't living in no house. You ain't going to be included in no bomb shelter. So you guys need to wake up to what is going on. This is not a good time we're living in. This ain't no great America. And that 250 day, say it's 250 day, we are dedicating to America. They had some black people up there. Some of y'all are delusional too. A lot of y'all are. He don't care about you. When he's done using you like a puppet, he gonna throw you to the wayside as well. So he gonna do you like he done did everybody else, Candace Owens and all these other persons. He ain't got none of them up there surrounded by him. And Tim Scott, you should be ashamed of yourself, because you're not helping your own people. And then you call yourself being a political party, and you think you know what you're doing. You're creating havoc for your own community people. You're not doing good. None of you guys are doing good, and it's going to come back to get you. It's going to come back to get all of you, because you guys are doing something extremely wrong right now. And then you got this high gas, you got this high food, and you know what you're doing. You're killing people, because you're making people have to work to pay to live. A luxury to live. Basic needs should not be a luxury. Living in a place and being able to have a safe place to sleep and eat should not be a luxury. And I'm saying this. You're doing evil, you're doing wrong, and it is going to come back to get you. You think you're getting away with something, but it is not going to work out. Your day is coming.